Welcome back to Overtime here on WOTM, our college football pick segment. We have to do it today because we don't have a show coming up on Wednesday with the 7A state championship game you can see right here on WOTM. So we'll do our picks this week. Obviously, it's championship week. Before we tell you how we're going to do this week, here's our picks from last week.
I'm going to take Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and I'm going to go with Florida.
Yeah, Florida got games. Florida at home. I like Alabama as well. Mississippi State's interesting because they're favored in this matchup, but I like the lane train. I kind of like how they're rolling right now. I'll go with the Rebels as well. I think in a weird game, just like Jordan Hare's weird, I think I'll go with LSU in Death Valley to upset Texas A&M, and I'll go with Florida State as well. They've kind of found a little stride here.
Yep.
If Florida wins, I think it's going to be a blowout, but I think Florida State wins that football game. Who do you like in these last three?
Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and Penn State. State.
I like it. I also go with Ohio State in this one. I do think Michigan keeps it close, though. I also like Oklahoma State, the Cowboys, to get the win there. And I'll take Michigan State as well. I'll go with State in that one as well. So that's how we did last week, and I went 5-2 for the first time in for the first time in like a month. I knocked you off. We both were over 500. I went 5-2, losing the Florida State matchup as well as Ohio State and Michigan, and we both picked that. We both thought the Buckeyes would get that done, but Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines got it done. Meanwhile, LSU beat Texas A&M. Got some separation there, and then Penn State and Michigan State is how it all worked out. So last week you were 4-3, still over 60% for the season. I'm now starting to inch back just a little bit with one more week of games here this week. So let's go to our games coming up this week. Of course, it is championship week, so it's a smaller schedule. But here's our first four: SEC championship game between Georgia and Alabama, the Big 12 championship game between Baylor, Oklahoma State, Michigan and Iowa in the Big 10 championship, and in the American Athletic, Houston and Cincinnati. Who you like?
Oh boy. See, like it's just real hard for me to not pick with my heart here. But until I see Georgia beat Alabama, I don't know if they could beat them. That could be the dumbest thing I ever picked. And see, it just matters too much now. It's too much on this game. So, but I got to go with Alabama. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. I am going to go with Michigan, and I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
I like that too. I'm going with the Bulldogs instead of the Crimson Tide. I like Georgia to essentially end Bama's championship run. Baylor against Oklahoma State, I like the Cowboys there. I like Jim Harbaugh to keep it going and make it to the college football playoff, as well as Cincinnati. I think they're rolling as well. The final three games out west is the Pac-12 championship game, Oregon and Utah. ACC, two teams we probably didn't think would make a championship game, Pitt and Wake Forest, and Appalachian State and Louisiana in the Sun Belt championship.
The Pitt and Wake Forest game, really. I mean, for the ACC, I guess Clemson really needs to win for that conference to matter. Okay, Oregon, Utah, that's a matchup that they played a couple weeks ago, and Utah smacked them. I like Oregon to come back and win this game. I like them to the other game, and they lost. I'm going to go with Wake over Pittsburgh, and I'm going to go with the Appalachian State and Louisiana. I'm going to go with Louisiana.
Okay, I like, in that matchup, I like Utah to win again. They won so convincingly first time around. I like that. I like Wake Forest to beat Pitt in that matchup. And Louisiana playing without their head coach. We know, obviously, Billy Napier taking that Florida job. I like Appalachian State in that matchup. All right, so final segment of our show. Final topic here. Max Scherzer signing a deal today with the New York Mets. 3 years, $130 million. $43 million plus in annual salary. What's your take now as the NL East with the Braves gets a little bit difficult with Scherzer now in the lineup?
Yeah, just what we need, a 37-year-old pitcher who's had arm problems and couldn't pitch in the postseason. Way to go, $43 million. Give it to him, right? I mean, come on. Really?
You don't think it makes a difference for the Mets?
No. I mean, it might make a difference for a couple. Look, they signed Tom Glavine, too. Remember when they signed Tom Glavine when Glavine was like 38? He had a couple good years, but who missed him more? The Braves? Or did the Braves miss him more, or did he benefit the Mets more? I thought the Braves might have missed him more.
Exactly. I think the same thing. I do think that he'll probably get 20 wins. Maybe not a Cy Young season.
Not 20 wins?
Not a Cy Young season, but
I can start 20 games.
I do believe that this comes from a disheartened Mets fan, but I do think it'll create a whole lot of competition. Of course, it'll be really fun to watch. Well, thank you for joining us here on Overtime tonight. We're back tomorrow night with John Holder. Join us then.